For being the son of a former Super Bowl winning quarterback, Max Johnson has sort of flown under the radar, even though he has put up impressive numbers in college so far. But that kind of fits the Johnson family, as his father quietly had a 17-year NFL career, and throughout his career, Max has not been the flashiest player in interviews. Max looks primed to be a future superstar and could be the Aggie starting quarterback come the start of the season. How'd we get here? Max Johnson was born on July 25, 2001, and is the son of former Super Bowl winning quarterback Brad Johnson and nephew of former Georgia and Miami head coach Mark Richt. Brad Johnson was a 9th round pick by the Minnesota Vikings back when there were 9 rounds of the NFL draft, out of Florida State, and went on to have a 17-year NFL career, playing in 125 games and making 2 Pro Bowls. In 2008, the Johnson family decided to move from Tallahassee to Georgia to be closer to Mark Richt, Max's mother's brother, who was the head coach at Georgia at the time. They moved to Watkinsville, where Max and his brother Jacob enrolled in an Athens private school. Then, Brad ran into an old friend, Travis Nolan, father of former college quarterback Zeb Nolan, who was a former high school teammate of Brad's and was now serving as the head coach of Oconee County High School. Travis was aiming to build a state championship contending team, but never once asked the Johnsons to transfer even though they were in the school's district. Instead, Brad brought it up. Travis told The Athletic, "I would never ask you to do that. If you would ever to move them here, I want it to be because you all wanted it too, not because of our relationship or whatever." Travis was thrilled to have Max on the team. For Max's first 2 years, his father was a quiet, supportive parent, watching from the bleachers, but come his son's junior year, Travis decided he needed the help of an accomplished quarterback and invited Brad to be a voluntary coach. Brad has been there ever since, not earning any money, coming by every day and pulling out equipment, setting things up at the stadium. As a sophomore, Max threw for 1,918 yards, 10 touchdowns and 10 interceptions, and went into his junior season as a 5-star prospect. Max struggled his junior year as his wide receiver room was hit with a slew of injuries. At one point, 8 wide receivers were out. Max finished the season throwing for 925 yards, 7 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, and saw his recruiting rankings drop. He was now a 4-star recruit and the 252nd best prospect in his class. Travis was supportive to the Johnsons, although the recruiting rankings didn't really matter at this point because Max had committed already. Travis felt that college recruiters become enamored with size and big arms, which results in missing out on a lot more quarterbacks. He told The Athletic, "They don't miss many times on guards or D tackles or cornerbacks, but on quarterback, I think they miss because they miss on people like Zeb and Max and Jacob. They are good football players and not just good quarterbacks. You could put any of them at any different position at this school and they'd be a good player. And I think sometimes when they're evaluating how they throw at camps, they want to see how big their arm is. Well, that doesn't matter when the bullets start flying. Are they a good football player? I think that's what they miss." Brad spoke about Max's recruiting freefall, saying Max never threw his own teammates under the bus, and he got run over by a truck, by every recruiting service. You can quote that. People they don't investigate. What they don't investigate is the toughness and the skill level. Max didn't let it get to him and bounced back his senior year, throwing for 2,143 yards, 30 touchdowns and only 5 interceptions, while also rushing for 7 more touchdowns on the ground. He led Oconee County to their first state championship game appearance since 1999. He finished his high school career throwing for 5,140 yards and 47 touchdowns, while also rushing for 14 more touchdowns on the ground. Coming out of high school, according to 24/7 Sports Composite, Max Johnson was a 4-star recruit who was the 10th best pro-style quarterback and 253rd best player in the 2020 cycle. He received over 16 different Division I offers from the likes of Florida State, Georgia, LSU, Miami, and Texas A&M. Max disliked the recruiting process more than any other player Nolan has seen, even though he began earning big-time scholarships his freshman year. Nolan told Sports Illustrated, "I had an SEC coach call me when he was a sophomore, and the coach said, if Max will come down to a camp, we'll give him an offer. I said, Coach, he's not coming to your camp. If you really like him, you can come up here. He's not out chasing offers." Back in November of 2018, Max committed to LSU and never wavered on his commitment. He wanted to be his own guy and create his own name. I just want to take a second and ask if you are enjoying this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more college football content. Also, let me know who you think will be this year's Heisman winner in the comment section below. Throughout Max's life, he has always been competitive, and that did not change when he got to LSU. He decided to enroll early at LSU during their national title run. When he got to practice, he was the last quarterback in the stretching line, with the first quarterback being Joe Burrow. Then, when Max's freshman season started, he was not expected to get on the field. Myles Brennan went into the season as a starter, but then got hurt. TJ Finley struggled, so Max took over. Going to his first start against the 6th-ranked Florida Gators, he was unusually calm. LSU was 3-5 and having its worst season in 25 years. Many of its best players had opted out, including the team's top 3 pass catchers in Jamar Chase, Terrence Marshall, and Arik Gilbert. COVID-19 and injuries hit LSU so bad, it had to play with roughly 50 players. Everything seemed to be working against LSU going into the matchup with Florida. But as head coach Ed Odron has said, since that night, the players who were left were the players who wanted to be there. In a game that will be remembered for a shoe being thrown, the 19-year-old quarterback led the Tigers to an upset win on the road, salvaging the season. He threw for 239 yards and 3 touchdowns, while also rushing for 65 yards on the ground. He followed that performance up by throwing for 435 passing yards and 5 total touchdowns in a win over Ole Miss, then the season 2-0 as a starter. During a spring scrimmage, Max got an extra shove from a defensive lineman following a play. He charged after the defender and had to get pulled back by teammates. The whole team got involved. This might sound bad, but those are the kinds of things that can win teammates over. Later, LSU posted a video of Max fired up, hyping up the team to start warm-ups and getting in the face of a defensive end to get the team going. It's something that might have shocked a lot of people. During interviews, Max's vita is kind of boring and talks like a coach would. He is a leader though, and was for the Tigers going into his sophomore year. Also during the offseason, TJ Finley would transfer to Auburn and Myles Brennan would break his arm, catching himself from a fall on a fishing trip. So, Max looked like the clear starting quarterback heading into the season, and there was a lot of excitement surrounding him. LSU had an up and down season last year, with Johnson looking like one of the bright spots, throwing for 2,814 yards, 27 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. Due to their lackluster season, head coach Ed Orgeron was fired, and the Tigers hired Brian Kelly. This led to Johnson deciding to enter the transfer portal, choosing to play at Texas A&M alongside his brother, who was a part of the Aggies' historical recruiting class this past cycle. A team Johnson threw for 306 yards and 3 touchdowns in a 27-24 upset win over the 14th-ranked Aggies in the regular season finale. During an extremely windy spring game, Johnson threw for 127 yards and 2 touchdowns, while also showing off some wheels, rushing for 84 yards on the ground. He's competing against Haynes King and Connor Wigman for the starting quarterback job this fall. Johnson brings SEC starting experience to College Station and could be the favorite to win the job this year. What do you think? Who will be Texas A&M starting quarterback for the 2022 season? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe for daily college football content, and make sure to check out one of my other videos the algorithm knows you will love right here. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.